Recorded Books presents an unabridged recording of Honolulu by Alan Brennert, narrated by Alan, and directed by Aaron Moon. This book is copyrighted 2009 by Alan Brennert. This recording is copyrighted 2009 by Recorded Books. In Korea, at the turn of the 20th century, girls were of so little value that Jin, a young picture bride, was known as Regret. Traveling to Hawaii in search of a better life, Jin's dreams are brought up short, as the harsh realities found in fast-growing Honolulu turn a naive young girl into a resourceful woman who struggles to make her way in a world of prejudice and strife. And now, Honolulu.
Chapter 1. When I was a young child growing up in Korea, it was said that the image of the fading moon at daybreak, reflected in a pond or stream or even a well, resembled the speckled shell of a dragon's egg. A dragon embodied the yang, the masculine principle of life, and it was thought that if a couple expecting a child prayed to the dragon's egg, their offspring would be male. Of course, every family in those days desired a son over a daughter. Only men could carry on the family line. Women were merely vessels by which to provide society with an uninterrupted supply of men. So every day for months before I was born, my parents would rise before dawn, carrying offerings of fresh steamed rice cakes to the stone well behind our home, as the sky brightened and snuffed out the stars. And they would pray to the pale, freckled face of the moon floating on the water's surface, pray that the child growing inside my mother's womb would be a boy. In this, they were to be disappointed. On the third day of the first moon, in the year of the rooster, their first and only daughter was born to them. In those waning days of the Yi dynasty, newborn girls were not deemed important enough to be graced with formal names, but were instead given nicknames. Often these represented some personal characteristic: cheerful, pretty, little one, big one. Sometimes they presumed to be commandments, chastity, or virtue. A few, golden calf, little flower, verged on the poetic. But too many names reflected the parents' feelings about the birth of a daughter. I knew a girl named Anger, and another called Pity. More than a few were known as Sorrow or Sadness, and everyone had heard the story of the father who named his firstborn daughter One is okay, his next, perhaps after the second, the third, Three laughs, and the last, Four shames. As for me, my parents named me Regrettable, eventually shortened to simply Regret. Koreans seldom address one another by their given names. We believe a person's name is a thing of intimacy and power, not to be used casually by anyone but a family member or close friend. When I was very young, Regret was merely a name to me, signifying nothing more than that. But as I grew older and learned it held another meaning, it became a stone weight in my heart. A call to supper became a reminder of my unfortunate presence at the dinner table. A stern rebuke by my father, "Regret, what are we to do with you?" seemed to hint that my place in the family was impermanent. Too young to understand the real reasons, I wondered what was wrong with me to make me so unwanted. Was I too short? I wasn't as tall as my friend Sunny, but not nearly so short as her sister Lotus. Was I too plain? I spent hours squinting into the mirror, judging my every feature, and found them wanting. My eyes were set too close together, my nose was too small, or maybe it was too big. My lips were thin, my ears flat. It was clear to see I was plain and unlovely. No wonder my parents regretted my birth. In truth, my father was merely old-fashioned and conservative, a strict adherent to Confucian ideals, one of which...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?